All right, let's talk barbell regressions. All right, so more than likely you're going to encounter some barbell movements within your programming. It doesn't mean that you have to do them. All right, I'm a huge believer of barbell training. I don't believe there's anything better in regards to building overall strength, overall power than with the barbell. However, that doesn't mean that it's just a one-size-fits-all, and if you can't use the barbell, you're not going to get strong. We can still get very strong, very fit, very explosive without the use of a barbell. In fact, when I first started my gym and started training athletes, I didn't have any of my athletes touch a barbell, yet there's multiple state champions, multiple athletes that were just wrecking the competition without actually touching a barbell. And everything that we did was with kettlebells, dumbbells, body weight, and sandbags. All right, and so that's the same thing that you can do to help push your fitness, to help push your strength, to help push your results to the next level. And I'll just briefly hit on this. And so let's talk about barbell training regressions here. So number one, if you don't have a barbell, totally cool. We can still get strong. We can still get fit. We can still kick ass. All right, not a problem. Not ready, poor mobility. All right, and so a lot of times guys just aren't ready to use the barbell. Sometimes their mobility isn't good enough to use a barbell. And instead of taking the time to improve mobility, whether that be your overhead position or the front rack position, or maybe you're just super tight in the ankles and the hips and you can't get in a proper squat position or deadlift setup or whatever, and injury is a lot more prevalent with that, you can quickly switch to dumbbells, kettlebells, sandbags, things like that. And so I will say this: don't neglect your mobility, don't neglect your overall flexibility, because those are things that are obviously going to help take you to the next level. But if it's a case where, oh, I'm supposed to do this barbell movement today, but I am in no way, shape, or form ready to do that because I'm too weak, maybe core-wise, old injuries, back, or shoulder injuries, something to that nature, or your mobility is just lacking, that's fine. We can still push through that. What it all comes down to is movement patterns. Movement patterns. And so I'll briefly outline it here. All right, say we have a front barbell squat or even a back squat program into your workout, but you don't have a barbell, or you're just not ready to use a barbell. And so getting in that front rack position is not an option for you. Maybe you got such tight shoulders that you can't properly load that barbell up on your shoulders. And so what you can do is think about the same movement pattern. We can take two dumbbells, hold them in position, which doesn't require as much mobility. We can take two kettlebells. We can take a sandbag, load yourself up here. You can put a sandbag on your back, and we're still hitting that movement pattern, and we're gonna get that stimulus that we wanna get from that squat, loading the body, that we'll still be able to get progress out of it. And if you remember, part of this journey, part of this game is about being resourceful. And so when we run into a barrier, we fucking plow through that barrier. We're not gonna let anything stop us, and so we find a way to make it happen. And this is how we do that, especially with barbell training regressions. And so movement patterns. Let's take another movement, for example. Barbell power clean. Again, your mobility isn't very good. Catching a barbell up here isn't going to happen. You might hurt your shoulder, or setting up on heavy barbell is putting your back at risk, whatever the case might be. Barbell power clean is out the window, right? How can we hit that movement? Single arm dumbbell power clean, single arm kettlebell power clean. We can go sandbag power clean. We can go double dumbbells power clean, double dumbbell or double kettlebell power clean. You get my drift? We're not using a barbell. We can use other pieces of equipment to get the same movement pattern, to get the same stimulus. So with the power clean, what we're focusing on here is boom, explosion with the hips. Okay, we can still get that done with dumbbells, kettlebells, sandbags, right? And so we just switch the movement. We alter the piece of equipment that we're using, and we still get the movement done. So movement patterns, right? Think of it, other things that we do. Barbell snatch, okay? Barbell snatch. A lot of guys are not ready for this movement, and a lot of guys just won't ever be able to do this movement, whether it be past injuries, just really poor mobility. We can obviously take the time to improve that mobility, but what can we do now to still get the benefit out of that movement? Same thing, single arm dumbbell power snatch, single arm kettlebell snatch. You can even progress it, or go double dumbbell snatch or double kettlebell snatch. I don't really recommend a snatch with a sandbag, but again, it's that explosive movement with the hips and then a catch overhead. So it might be a power snatch from the floor or a hang snatch, which hang snatch by far with a kettlebell is one of the best movements out there in my mind to develop power and overall conditioning, and we're getting that stimulus, all right, without having to use the barbell, and go through all the technical learning, which it is a very powerful skill set to develop, training with the barbell. But again, if you're in a position where old injuries, back stuff, hip stuff, shoulder stuff, you just don't want to go through that, and hey, we're not trying to hit any world record PRs on the barbell snatch or clean and jerk or whatever, that's totally fine. We'll regress it. We'll use a dumbbell, kettlebell, sandbag, whatever we need to use to still push through and get the benefits from training. So I hope this clears things up. Hope it gives you a good perspective on how we can push through without the use of a barbell, and we can still make it happen.